What if I told you the car market is not only getting expensive, it's actually bankrupting many Americans? Not just those prices, but those long-term contracts that lock people in and somehow have become normalized. The worst part about it all is that most people think they're making a smart decision. So let's go ahead and break down what's actually happening when people are buying these new cars and signing up for those long contracts that they really don't look over enough, and maybe they're negotiating things wrong, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. Only a decade ago, the average cost of a new vehicle was somewhere around $30,000 and $18,000 for a used one. And now about 10 years later, we're looking at about $48,000 for a new one and around $25,000 for a used one. Although I will say in the outdoor world, it is much more than that. A lot of these new off-road cars are costing around $60,000, $70,000, or $80,000, and that's before even modifying them. So you're starting off at a really big price point. During and after COVID, prices shot up due to supply chain increases, and it seems like even with those supply chain issues being gone, the prices seem to hover about where they were and actually haven't really balanced out yet. So for a while there, cars were appreciating, but a lot of that increased cost is actually due to inflation. Now, even though it sounds like I'm going in the direction of talking about inflation, that is actually not the bad thing about this. The worst part is monthly payments. Having previously worked for a dealer, I know that they are going to 100% push you into payments rather than actually looking at the main cost. If you guys do want to see a video on how to get around this and how to negotiate with these people, put a comment below, because I've been on the other side of it and I know how predatory that stuff is. I wanted nothing to do with it after I left, and hopefully I can pass along some of that information. So basically what dealers will do is they'll price X amount of dollars for the product right here. Let's take that average of $48,000, and that is your price of your vehicle. They will stretch out that loan to 72 or 84 months, whatever it takes to make that more affordable. But what a lot of people don't understand is you're getting so much more interest that way and making the vehicle that much more expensive. If you look at a depreciation curve, it's likely after the terms of your payment are done, your car could be worth anywhere from like $15,000 to $20,000. Probably could be paying close to $60,000 by the end of your term, and now your vehicle is only worth, let's say, $20,000. So basically what we've done in the last few years is normalize car mortgages. Now again, I actually worked for a dealership for a little bit. Now I was on the RV side of things, but those are even worse. I can make a video on that if you guys want to talk about that, but I will say car sales is pretty close to that. The intention of a salesperson is to get you sold. Not only that, but to make sure that you finance through them. And I will show you guys why they actually want you to do financing. So basically, let's say you've got Bank X. They go with Bank X, they get you approved for 7%. Wow, that's pretty good, right? Well, you actually got approved for 5%. Now that dealership is gonna make money off your monthly payments. So if you are gonna finance a vehicle, I would say go ahead and get approved before you do go into a dealership. It is likely that they are going to do a buy rate no matter what, but I would say go to your local bank beforehand and get approved just in case, so you have a little bit of negotiation. If they are telling you 8 or 9% and you got approved for 5, then you know something's up there. Maybe you can talk them down a little bit, or you can just go with the bank that you've already been approved for. If you do finance with the dealership, not only are you potentially overpaying for the vehicle, but you're actually overpaying on your payment. You have basically just got hit twice, and that's before they add any warranties, any extras on top of it. So they are making a killing. Car loans are now the third largest debt that Americans carry, behind mortgages and student loans. And while rent, groceries, everything goes up, that $800 a month payment is locked in, and it doesn't care how much you're spending in the rest of your life. Like clockwork, it is going to hit your account and take that money out no matter how much you're spending on groceries or the cost of living. I've seen up to $1,900 payments when I worked at the dealership. That is absolutely outrageous. We've confused luxury with necessity, and it's bleeding into every aspect of our lives. Now, this video isn't about hating cars. I actually love cars. I love SUVs, I love trucks, I love fast cars, I love motorcycles. Don't get me wrong. I've just learned through mistakes in my life and through experiences that I actually love old rigs. I love getting out there camping and building something that's capable, whether you like off-roading, overlanding, you like fast cars, or you like something slammed and lowered. Whatever your favorite type of vehicle is that gets you out there, makes you feel free, that's on you. But what's happening right now with many Americans is not free at all. It's just about debt and locking you into payments so that someone else can make money off of you every single month. Car payments for a lot of people are a necessary evil if they don't have enough money to buy the car outright. But if you can afford a vehicle outright in cash, there is no reason to tie a $900 anchor to you every single month when you could easily purchase something outright. So this isn't all doom and gloom. Let's go ahead and talk about how to break out of it, because I myself just recently broke out of it. I had bought a 4Runner, bought a Tundra. I had bought these new cars that actually showed off success. And in the end of it, success doesn't have to be shown through your vehicle. And that brings me to my first point, breaking that mindset that success equals a new car, success equals a better car. Break that mindset and it'll set you free. Buy used, but buy smart. When you can, look for private sellers, but if you can't afford the car outright, you're likely gonna have to go to a dealership. If you have to go to a dealership, know how to negotiate and understand what the dealers are doing. Dealers are there to make money. They are not here to help you. I was one of the few people at my dealership that actually did want to help the customers and that didn't help me in my industry. So if they are actually moving a lot of units, they probably don't have your best interest in mind. There are good salespeople out there, so don't take offense to this if you are a salesperson. Just know I saw some wild stuff when I worked at a dealership, and I wouldn't wish a lot of this stuff on my worst enemy. If you're going out there and buying a G-Wagon or the most expensive thing, just understand the cost of maintenance per vehicle. Before I bought my GX470, I understood that it was a Lexus and therefore unnecessarily a luxury vehicle. However, it is made by Toyota, so I'm not that concerned. The same goes for Acura. It's still made by Honda, but it is a luxury vehicle, so don't completely discount those, but go for the basics instead of going for the luxuries if the vehicle is not in one of the brands that are considered to be more reliable. Now, if you can, pay in cash. Now, this is very dependent because there is a diminishing point of returns. If you only have like $500, I would say you potentially should finance at that point to get you something a little bit more reliable. If you've got $15,000, $16,000, $20,000 cash, then why not go ahead and buy that vehicle outright? Get something a little bit cheaper that's older and is reliable. And that way you don't end up having to pay extra for the vehicle, paying every single month. There's just no reason to do that when you have the means to buy that vehicle outright. So next up, if you are going to be financing, which is probably going to be most people at this point, you are going to need to be able to negotiate, look at similar vehicles around the same mile, same color, same year, and try to get an estimate of where those are selling. Get pre-approved if you can. Go to your bank, go to your credit union, and see what you are approved for before you go into a dealership. That way you have some leverage. You're going to know in advance that you're approved for X amount of dollars. You're going to know roughly about what your interest rate will be, and it shows the salesman that you are serious about it, so they're going to take you very seriously and focus their attention on you. This is something that I've fallen victim to so many times, but don't look at what other people are driving and make decisions based on that. If your coworker's driving something that's very reliable and they tell you about it, that's a good thing. But don't look envious at what other people are driving and think that you have to increase what you have just because other people around you did. Now, I actually think for a lot of people, including myself, sometimes I will admit it, this is probably the most difficult step because we are ingrained to buy, consume every chance we get, especially when it comes to a vehicle. The vehicle you drive is the thing that everyone sees when you're parked in the parking lot at work or you're out driving around, so it's hard to break that habit. Cars should actually give you freedom, not take it away or hinder you in any way. If you are feeling crushed by the cost of ownership, you are not alone. The average car payment in the US is around $700 to $750, so you are definitely not alone in this. But with the right mindset, you can stop digging yourself into a hole. I've done it in the past, so I'm very, very understanding of that. It is really rough to see money leave your bank account every month for that car that you're driving around. And at this point, maybe you've got maintenance, stuff like that on it. So I understand that feeling. I'm with you on that one. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, comment below, let me know, hit that subscribe button. And you can also check out what YouTube thinks you'd like by clicking over here.